Hi, guys. Well, from beautiful Salt Lake City, Utah,
It's Thank God I'm Atheist.
the podcast.
I'm Frank.
And it's your birthday!
What? That's
I-
crazy.
And I'm also Dan.
Yeah. And coming up today, we're going to talk about a topic that once got us into some trouble, but we're going to...
What topic doesn't get us into
We're
trouble?
going to revisit it because we got a new angle.
Yeah, we're going to talk all about spirituality.
Yeah.
Are you spiritual? Here in this fine state
That
of
doesn't
Utah,
sound like that's going to get us into any trouble.
we say spiritual.
Yeah, that's true. That's how you say it down at the Relief Society.
Yeah, down to the Relief Society.
And also, okay, thanks.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks.
Anyway, and that's as close as some Mormon women get to thinking. Oh no,
that's just terrible.
I'm terrible.
Well, Dan.
Oh, Muriel, you're terrible.
Terrible.
Yeah.
You're terrible. Dan.
What? What do you got?
Have you been to the Vatican?
I haven't. I've never been to Rome. I've only been to northern Italy.
Okay. So I was going to ask you if you've ever been to the Sistine Chapel, but if you've never been to the Vatican, you haven't been to the Sistine Chapel.
That's true.
But that's not stopping the good people of Dallas, Texas.
Oh?
Down to the State Fair.
Oh?
The Texas State Fair.
I was
Dallas.
hoping it was the Vatican State Fair.
No. There is if you're down there, folks, be sure to stop by the what's the pavilion called? I thought it was fantastic. It's the Mundo Latino, a celebration of cultures exhibit in the Women's Museum. They have a replica of the Sistine Chapel. Original sized reproductions of Michelangelo's work on the on the ceiling and
of course,
the walls and whatnot. There's 34 photographs in full size.
Oh, they're photographs. So they've taken photographs and then blown them up and put them on the ceiling.
They didn't bring the real thing over or anything.
Well, no, I was hoping that some Texas painter had recreated it meticulously
with noted figures from Texas history,
right?
Reenacting the
exactly.
scenes. Yeah, that'd be
exactly
nothing so fitting.
What's his name?
State Fair.
John Bowie reaching out to touch
David Bowie.
Not David Bowie. No, no. The guy the knives are named after.
Oh.
Reaching out to touch the hand of Davy Crockett.
Oh yes, indeed,
or something like that.
The Alamo, sort of, in there somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I remember the Alamo.
Yeah. So for your $8 ticket to the state fair, includes the possibility of seeing sort of one of the great, marvels. Really, I mean, it's amazing.
Sure.
Michelangelo spent years and years and years on his back up on scaffolding painting the thing.
I'm going to guess that you get to be closer to it.
You're going to be closer, and there's probably far fewer judgy people shushing you.
Yeah.
Because the security guards shush you. And there's also this announcement that comes on. Please no flash photography.
Oh.
And then
in Italian.
And then in Italian, and then in French, and then in Japanese, and then in German, and it just keeps going.
Keine fotografieren!
Yeah. It's the only one that's loud and not reverent.
Right, exactly. All the other ones are like, please no flash photography. and then the German yells.
Yeah, they may actually allow flash photography. I wouldn't know. However, they also it also includes a couple young men dressed up in Swiss Guard clown uniforms.
It does.
And
oh my god,
this is not this exhibit.
Oh my god, at Dallas.
Yeah, it's not. It's actually a traveling exhibit, and the state fair just happened to get it. It was originally supposed to go into a traveling exhibit type museum space in Washington D.C., but they were double booked, and so they were like, "Well, sorry."
Hey, you seen them two fags over there by that painted ceiling in their fucking clown costumes?
Yeah, Dan.
That's what I'm imagining a Texas person I'm being both. I'm being as offensive as I can in all of the ways. On that one.
But this thing's going to keep traveling, Dan. It's gonna.
Does it come to us?
Well, it's already made stops in Montreal,
okay,
and in Vienna. So it's like on a world tour.
It is on a world tour.
So I don't know that we're going to get it.
Oh,
but the Dallas State Fair.
How the fuck?
Texas State
like,
Fair.
When you're booking that.
Yeah.
Who even thinks to call the Texas State Fair?
Well, they were scrambling. They needed
guess
a place
so.
that had some space and that was eager to just put any. I mean, it's the largest state fair in the country.
Sure.
So because everything's bigger in Texas.
Oh yeah,
it's part of the state constitution.
It is to have to make everything bigger.
Yeah. So their state fair is the largest, and they're just doing it right. I mean, it just looks fantastic. They have scaffolding that they've attached everything to.
It looks awful, you guys. He's showing me pictures, and it just looks. It's just scaffolding with plywood across it, and you can look
actually,
up.
You may not actually get closer. I think I remember reading something in the article that it was talking about the space. They were really stoked about the space because it would actually allow sort of for the 40-foot high ceiling experience. So you get the same awful craned neck experience that you have at the Sistine Chapel without actually seeing the real thing.
That's fantastic.
So you might as well let people get up close, folks.
Right.
Let it reach out and touch those damn things.
Yeah, exactly. Although I do like the idea. I hope that they burn some incense and maybe play some Gregorian chant in the background.
There's nothing so exciting in the Sistine Chapel.
There's got to be incense. Oh, maybe not because they want to preserve the stuff. You don't want smoke.
Yeah, no, it's boring and not very church-like, and it's also a really ugly room. You understand why they wanted to cover it.
You're like
in murals and whatnot.
Can we get a master to paint the rest of this place because it looks stupid? Who else we got? We got Raphael around here somewhere.
Let's give him a couple rooms.
Yeah. Shoot him a wall. He'll be fine. I'm going to go from Texas. I'm going to take us to the magical wonderland that is Canada.
Oh.
Canada, it's like unarmed America up there in the Great White North.
Where you're allowed to, hurt yourself or get sick.
Huh?
Because there's medicals.
Yeah, where you don't have to be terrified if your thumb comes off or something. Anyway, so up there, I've been made aware of a very interesting court case.
That
happened, and I've been reading about it. So the question at the heart of this is the court case is Wall versus Judicial Committee of the Highwood Congregation of Jehovah's Witnesses.
Okay.
And at the heart of this is this very strange thing where, so this guy, Wall, got booted from his congregation. And this is something, we've talked about this before, but if you know the J-Dubs, the Jehovah's Witnesses, know that they love to kick somebody out and shun them. It's like their favorite thing.
Yeah, it's a pastime. And I think they practice it, don't they? They have little shunning events.
Yeah. Oh, sure.
Shunning role plays.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Because you got to be ready. When the time comes.
Oh,
you don't want to be caught off guard.
You just need to want to be able to just shun the shit out of those people. You want to be able to shun like you've been doing it for a year.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, this guy was a member of the J-Dubs for 34 years.
Oh.
And was expelled for engaging in drunkenness.
Oh, they drink, but they don't.
But no drunkenness.
Yeah.
You can take a sip here and there, but you cross that line, you're in some trouble.
Surely you're allowed to get drunk once. Was he more like an alcoholic?
I don't know.
He may getting help.
Maybe he actually enjoyed getting drunk and did it, thrice or something. Anyway. At what point does it become a sin? He had to appear before a judicial committee of the church, and they
Did
decided
he show up drunk?
to expel him. He admitted to being intoxicated, and they just kicked him right out. And of course, they do shun, and that means that like any of his family members, all of his friends who are still Jehovah's Witnesses, have to cut off ties with him. They don't talk to him. They like probably spit on the ground at his feet if they see him.
Well, I think probably angry pointing.
Oh, angry point! Yeah,
Just,
vicious
there
pointing.
And everybody just points.
Eye daggers.
Yeah.
They just eye dagger the shit out of him.
If there's a group of Jehovah's Witnesses out on the street, and there's somebody who they have to shun, and they all just point and just point, like
Just nothing but
gesticulate,
nothing
you
but
know.
shade.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. He lost also a lot of like business from this. Like a lot. He you know his job was working with the community, and suddenly the shunning cost him a lot of his livelihood.
Oh no, because his customers were
Members
now
of his
people who were
congregation,
shunning him.
right? Yeah, exactly. So, so he took it to court. Like,
really.
he took it to real court, not fake church court. So, yeah. So he personal losses and economic losses and devastation to his family. He was a realtor. And so he lost a lot of, it's a very community, it's a very
Gotta have a
network-oriented business.
Yeah.
So he sued, and it turns out that the Canadian courts have decided that they do have jurisdiction to tell them, fuck off, you can't just kick him out. You can't just, shun him.
Oh, my God.
Now, I'm baffled by this. I don't know where to fall on this. But because it affects his livelihood, I get where they're coming from. It's just weird.
Wow. So, if nothing else, the message is being sent, take this shunning thing a little bit more seriously.
Yeah, I guess so.
You
Yeah,
can't just willy-nilly shun someone for being a little, having a few too many at the J-Dub Christmas party.
Yeah, exactly. This is from a decision. This is a quote from the courts. This court has affirmed that there is, as a general common law principle, a duty of procedural fairness lying in every public authority making an administrative decision which is not of a legislative nature and which affects the rights, privileges, or interests of an individual.
Yeah. You didn't call me out for you didn't pick up
Oh, I wasn't listening to you.
my joke. It wasn't a joke, but
Wait,
I
what?
gave you a line and you didn't go with it.
Sorry. Let's try it again. Go.
He got drunk at the J-Dub Christmas party.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Don't do that. I don't know. I just let it go.
You let it go, Dan.
There you go. All
Or
right.
at least
Well,
we'll say they don't have Christmas parties.
I know they don't celebrate. I know that there's no Halloween. Do they not celebrate? I guess they don't celebrate Christmas either.
Right. No, they don't do any of the holidays.
They don't do holidays.
They don't
That's
do
right.
holidays. And so the whole thing is, if he's getting drunk at the J-Dub Christmas party, they really have a reason to kick him out.
You did it.
That's
You did it.
Anyway.
Let's move on.
All right. Dan, we enjoy a certain amount of ability in our lives to be able to make fun and poke fingers at things. That,
Sure. Sure, we shun.
Yes.
On occasion.
We have shun. We have shun.
Oh, we have shun.
Well, a young kid on Facebook in Pakistan, 18 years old,
Oh, dear.
Christian,
Oh.
liked and then shared a photograph of the Kaaba in Mecca.
This is the big black box.
The big black box in Mecca
That
everybody has to walk around a few times. And so he saw a funny thing on Facebook, liked it, shared it.
Oh, dear.
And then some douchebag, quote-unquote, friend of his, who was Muslim, turned him in.
They didn't just say they
Reported
didn't
him.
They didn't like write a snarky comment
Yeah.
or like I'm really hurt by this. Whatever your name is, Sam. No, they reported him to the authorities, which, if that happened here, of course, they'd be laughed at. But if that happens in Pakistan, what happens?
Pakistan, you get charged with blasphemy and my favorite of all the charges, hurting religious sentiments.
Yes. You gotta love all the countries that have the don't hurt somebody's religious feelings.
Oh my God, they're just the most sensitive of the feelings.
It is. It's the feelingest of all the feelings.
So
You hurt my.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know where this thing goes, Dan.
You know, we have a lot of dumb teenagers here in the United States.
You know what? I bet there are dumb teenagers just about everywhere.
Right. But I think our dumb teenagers need to realize what a privilege it is to be a dumb teenager in the
They're
United
allowed to
States.
be dumb teenagers
Yeah.
for the most part.
We just let you be dumb here. We just let you be stupid. For the most part, you'll get off pretty scot-free. I mean, if you're a dumb like black teenager, things could be a little different for you these days.
Yeah, you got to be a little more careful.
You're not really allowed to be dumb if you're black, but white dumb teenagers can pretty much get away with anything.
Especially if they live in, the right part of town.
Right, yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, you can't be dumb in Pakistan.
No, you got to have your wits about you,
You really
at all
do.
times, because there's some sort of, uber sensitive Muslim
Right.
who's going to have their little feelings hurt.
Oh, man. Yeah.
It just pisses me off. Like, it really makes me angry. Like, where do these people get off? Their feelings can't be hurt?
Right, exactly.
That's a law.
And also, how do you blaspheme something that's not your deal? You can't be charged with blasphemy,
right, but
if you don't believe in the thing.
That deal and that thing are the default deals and things
Yep.
in Pakistan.
Yep.
So, if you're a religious minority, it doesn't matter if it's not your thing.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
So, and then, there was also like desecration of a religious space or something like that. And it was like, no, the photo itself is not the religious place.
Right. Yeah.
It's a photo.
If I use the spray paint tool in MS Paint,
Yeah.
and draw on the picture,
Of the Kaaba.
Of the Kaaba.
remains strangely spray paint free.
right, exactly. It somehow doesn't transfer to the actual thing in Saudi Arabia. Weird.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, ooh, that's what somebody should do. They should, while doing their little circles, or, they get over there in the crowd with their little circle, they infiltrate.
Yeah.
And then they spray paint.
Yeah, that'll go over. They'll get away with it for sure.
Yeah. It's a good idea, though.
If someone did that during the actual Hajj,
Oh, Jesus Christ.
4,000 people would die. Just in the clamor.
Kill the one person.
Just in the clamor. Somebody would be like, holy shit, a thing happened, and everybody would
Stampede.
die.
Human stampede.
Every
would happen.
human being there would die.
What is the human stampede called? It has a name, doesn't it?
Human stampede, I think.
It has a real name.
I don't know.
Oh, all right.
Anyway. Okay, update time.
Da-da-da-da-da.
We talked, was it last week? 2 weeks ago? We talked about the douchebag pastor, Steven Anderson, who was...
Dreamy Steven Anderson.
You're not looking at the shirt that he's wearing.
Let's see it.
Oh, God. It's really Steven Anderson? That dingy, white, blousy, like from a shitty, like Kmart shirt with French cuffs? Really?
Yes.
Don't even. Anyway, Steven Anderson, we talked about him having been barred from entering South Africa.
Yeah.
Where he was going to go and make sure that they hated the gays as much as he did. And he said, well, fine, I don't care. I'm going to go to Botswana and do it there because they hate gays for sure.
Right. What did Botswana do?
Turned him back.
Shut up.
Yep, he
No,
got
that's
there.
too good to be true.
He got there, and even Botswana was like, fuck off, dude,
Well,
and
you
sent
say-
him packing.
You say even Botswana, like Botswana.
No, Botswana is known for not necessarily being great on the homosexuals.
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
He said no.
They said no.
Why?
They said he would be stirring up hate speech, and they don't
meddle.
They don't need any more hate. Apparently, they're full. They're full up on hate in Botswana.
Oh, yeah. They have a little bumper crop.
Yeah. Yeah, so there you go. He made it to Botswana, but was held by immigration officials.
Oh, poor guy.
And then was sent a packing.
Man without a country. He's just like roaming,
No, he has a country, and it's ours. That's what's awful about it. He has a country, and it's the same one that we have to share with him.
No. With his beautiful face.
Yeah. He says, by the way, here's his very mature statement on the whole thing.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's no skin off my back. I wasn't really that excited about visiting their so-called beautiful country, which is the rape capital of the world.
What?
It's one of the most dangerous, wicked places in the entire world. I was actually going there for their sake. I was trying to bring the gospel to the lost.
He's a dick.
And those grapes were probably sour anyway.
Oh, that was a fun sound.
You're making noises over there.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, Dan.
Yeah.
Japan.
I've heard of it.
Land of technological innovation
Yes. And the rising sun.
and the rising sun. New thing, Dan.
Yeah?
This is it. This is the next big thing.
Yeah.
Priest delivery.
Wow.
There's a company in Japan that now has basically an online ordering system to have a priest come and officiate at your home.
Oh, okay. Like a wedding or a...
Obosanbin.
Sure. I think that means bar mitzvah, doesn't it? In Japanese?
No. You can get onto Amazon, a partner of Obosanbin,
Okay.
and order a priest visit.
Great.
And then the priest will come around. And, maybe they'll do there are different packages, all set prices.
Okay.
And then the priest comes around and does the thing that they're supposed to do. Like maybe it's a 1-year death anniversary thing. I guess that's a big thing.
Oh, okay.
So they can come and they'll pray with you.
And it's the worst to try and make a phone call about it, or God forbid have to show up at the temple yourself.
Now here's the thing. The temples don't have set prices.
Oh!
And it causes a lot of anxiety.
see.
Nobody knows what they're really supposed to pay for these services.
Oh.
And so they may kind of sliding scale it on you.
Right. Or you're just embarrassed because if you pay the wrong amount, it's shame on your family.
Exactly. Yeah. So you have to. So they shame you into this little secretive system where you're supposed to just give lots of money.
Oh, there are some mad priests right now.
Yes, there are. And so Obosanbin comes along, and they have low prices.
Yeah.
They're fixed prices.
Yeah.
So everything's transparent. You know what you're getting. You know what you're paying for. And then they show up. They do their thing, and there's no anxiety about the priest visit.
I mean, especially in a place where my sense of Japan, I've never been to Japan. I've seen documentaries about Japan and whatever.
Yeah.
My sense of the place is that protocol and etiquette is so important that if you fuck anything up, God, somebody has to commit suicide and the whole thing, everything goes haywire.
Yeah.
So I can see the need to streamline and make things clear.
Use technology to help the whole thing out, and now the priest visit is easy.
Great.
And they're able to focus on what's important. Now, this is a country where 70% of the people, profess to be nuns.
What? Oh, nuns! Like I'm thinking. Sorry, I'm on the priest thing, and so I'm like 70% of the people are nuns.
Yeah,
like,
sorry. I see where you got that. Sorry. No, the demographic, none. Like the non-religious, atheist, people. Agnostic, just the people who don't affiliate. Maybe they do have some kind of belief system, but they don't affiliate. Right. And so this is 70% of the people don't have a temple.
Right.
They don't have a place that they go.
But they still culturally participate in these things.
These things are important. They're sort of the touchstones of their culture.
Right.
And
somebody dies, you got to have the ceremony.
Yeah. Even if you really don't super believe it or not, you just honor your dead loved one with a Shinto ritual of some kind.
Yeah.
And la 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 la.
Yeah.
Also. So this again, they don't have a relationship with a temple. Now they can just get on Amazon.
I love it. I'm going to order one.
Pay 35,000
yen,
which is about $340.
Okay.
And they can have a priest come around and do a little prayer thingy.
Do they deliver internationally? Can I have one come here?
I don't know.
How many yen does it cost for a Salt Lake visit? I want you over here.
Probably a lot, Dan.
Oh, probably.
Probably a lot.
All right. Well, speaking of nuns and your kind of nuns, NONES.
Oh, okay.
Of which group you and I are members.
Yes.
There's a new study has been published about religiosity in these United States of America.
Really? Okay.
You'll not be surprised to learn that the percentage of the American populace that are nuns is increasing.
Yeah.
Is growing. We all know that. Here's the big takeaway from this one, however, and this is sort of the headline grabber for this one, is that they don't want to go back to religion.
Oh, really?
Everybody was assuming, or at least the religious folks, I think we all know this, but the religious folks all had this sort of assumption that unaffiliated people are leaving religion because, they were offended by something, or like their gay brother, they're offended by their church's policy toward homosexuality, or
I would also think that some people would say, people who are between churches are being unfairly categorized.
Right.
Yeah. Like this is somebody, they've just moved to a new area, they haven't found their church yet. Because that's a thing, right?
Right, or,
Mormons don't experience that. People would always ask us, have you found a church?
Right, yeah.
And we're like, well, we always have a church.
We have
My mom would actually get a little attitude with them.
A little testy?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. But yeah, it turns out that this is not, that this is wrong. The vast majority of the unaffiliated religiously unaffiliated here in the U.S. Have no interest in finding another church.
Really?
When they leave, they're done. I know I am.
God.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow, that's fantastic. So
now
do
nuns
they estimate like these numbers at all?
Nuns make up 25% of the American population now.
What?
We are now the largest, quote, faith group in the United States.
Dun, dun, dun.
We're bigger than Catholics. We're bigger than evangelicals. We're bigger than Jesus.
Bigger than yeah.
I mean, if you lump Christians together, they still are like massive.
Right.
But if you chop them into pieces,
them down by denomination,
then we win. Not that works either, because you have to kind of break us down too, because there's
whatever we are.
Right. Yeah. There's those that call themselves. I mean, those that call themselves agnostics and atheists is a small is a smaller chunk.
Right.
Of
so a lot of these people are just they're spiritual but not religious.
Right. They're afraid of the words. Most of them are probably atheists.
If they actually sort of self-examined enough.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But they're afraid of the words. The words are scary. Yeah. But it turns out that the reason that they are giving for leaving their church is that they stopped believing.
No way.
It's not anything. It's just they stopped believing.
Well, okay.
I think that's a big deal.
Stop believing in what? Because there's different things one can believe in.
I don't know. Somebody needs to call Journey, because apparently their song is not working anymore. Don't stop believing.
It's not getting the airplay that it used to get.
It's not. And it's a great song. It's a great song. Sorry, did you have a question? What was your question?
No, my hand was not raised.
Okay. I will say, so I just want to, I'm going to point this out. Obviously, as is always the case, the group that's most religiously unaffiliated is the largest one, which is, or is the youngest one. The largest group is the youngest one, which is 18 to 29.
Right. Is there a sense that this will continue forward as a wave of non-belief?
There is that sense.
Really?
I mean, so here's the trend. I'll talk about the different age categories as we go. But let's start with the biggest one. 18-year-olds to 29-year-olds in 1986, 10% of them called themselves religiously unaffiliated.
Okay.
1996, 10 years later, 20% of them said they were religiously unaffiliated.
Doubled.
From that to 2006, only 23%. So it went up by 3%.
Not very impressive.
From 2006 to 2016, 39%.
Shut up.
Of 18 to 29-year-olds are now saying that they are religiously unaffiliated.
This little generation.
Yeah. Wow. You and I, in the 30 to 49-year-old category, 29% currently of our of us are reporting religious unaffiliation.
Crazy. I mean, it makes sense. I don't know anyone who goes to church.
No
one.
Why would you even do it? So there you go. Apparently it's happening. It's happening, people. Now, here's the bad news. You would think that we would become a voting bloc. Of those 25% of Americans who are religiously unaffiliated, they are vastly liberal in their political views. Not voting. A lot of them not voting.
Well, that needs to change.
So I'm putting it out there, you guys. All of you Americans that are listening to this, the rest of you should vote too in whatever your respective country is.
Yeah.
But especially this year, like we can't have President Trump. We just can't. So
it's going to happen.
No, it's not.
Mark my word.
Don't say that, because that's you're casting some terrible voodoo spell right now. But
it's a horrible.
But Nate Silver's still saying it's not going to happen. Anyway, but we need to get out and vote.
Yeah, but
even if you want to vote for Trump, at least vote. Like, we as non-believers need to vote.
Let's look at the trend line, Dan.
It just jolted in the other direction.
Did it?
Yep.
No.
Yep.
Well, that's
Don't
good.
worry.
So
anyway,
I still think he's going to pull it out. Did you see that horrifying the front line? The front line that's coming out. Where it's like the whole premise of the entire... This is fucking Frontline, people.
Yeah.
The whole premise of the episode is that Donald Trump is getting back at Barack Obama for the horrifying treatment that he received at the White House Correspondents' Dinner.
What?
Remember when Barack Obama gets up and just rakes him over the coals for like 5 minutes?
Yeah.
And the jokes just don't stop?
And it was brilliant.
And it was amazing, right? Like, they have all these interviews with, like, people who are close to the Donald, and they're like, yeah, that was basically the moment when he was like, fuck you, I'm running for president. Because you are going to hand over the keys to the White House to me. And this one woman, it's Frontline. And she's like, yeah, anybody who's like questioned him, doubted him, they're going to have to bow down to the most powerful man in the universe.
Oh my God.
And it's like, what is going on? Like, if this is just for revenge, who has run for president and like had a chance and it was just all for revenge?
It was just a personal little vendetta.
And it's not even revenge. It's just like make fun of me. I'll show you. You can't do that to me. Do you know who I am?
Oh my God.
So that's coming up, folks. I'm sending the DVR like right now.
It's not. Yeah. Okay. There you go. Well, if you have anything you'd like to say about this or any of the stories that we've heard so far, please feel free to write into us. You can do so at podcast@thankgodimatheist.com.
Or you can call and leave us a voicemail message. The telephone number is 424-666-8442.
Go to the Facebook page, facebook.com/TGI Atheist, and click the like button.
And while you're there, search for the TGIA Members Only Lounge and request to join. It's a closed group, but we'll let you in.
Yeah, we'll let you in, and then you can have lots of fun interactions, and there are rules.
So obey them. Okay, Dan.
Yeah?
We have
What do we got?
a little clippy clip.
Little Baker action?
Little, yeah.
Little-
Craze Balls McGee.
I liked his little baseball cap that he's wearing today.
Little kind of a cornflower blue
with a cross
with a cross on it.
He's a fan of the Cornflower Christians. That's his team.
Is it? Oh, okay. Well, here he is. He's talking about some things that God has told him.
Oh, good. Yeah.
I said, God, what's going on? I said, it looks like Trump's not going to make it the way it's going. Do you want to know what God said to me? He said, the polls could be wrong.
Yeah, well, I totally have to. I agree with God on that. Yeah, the polls
And I said,
could be wrong. Oh, well, look at Brexit. That's all I have to say.
So,
look at Brexit. That totally rocked the European world.
I said, what do you mean, God? The polls could be wrong. He said, the people are in fear in this country. The church is in fear. And he said, they're afraid to even say that they're voting for Trump. Yeah. They don't want to tell anybody. They're afraid. Now, I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just saying this is what happened this week, a few hours ago. Donald Trump fans are afraid to say they're on his side because they are in fear of the hate mongers. They're afraid for their lives.
Oh, they're so dramatic.
I know. Did you hear how slowly he said that last sentence? It means it's true.
Makes it feel so important.
They're afraid for their lives if they admit to being Trump fans.
Okay, and clearly he's never met somebody who supports Donald Trump.
He's never seen. Have you seen video of those rallies?
These people have no problem running their flap traps,
and they are not afraid. They are
no.
They first of all, they're likely armed, so they're not afraid. They have guns. Oh my God!
It boggles the mind, but. When you're the persecuted Christian minority in this country.
Oh, it is so hard to be a Christian. What with 25% of us religiously unaffiliated people?
Oh, we're coming for you.
Persecuting the shit out of them. Let me just say this.
There's a difference between persecution and poking fun.
Yeah.
There's a big difference.
Or there's a difference between persecution and disagreeing. Which it's the quote, I don't know who said it, but losing your privilege feels an awful lot like persecution when you're in privilege.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, like all people are doing is standing up for their rights, hoping to have a discussion about the relationships between, like believers and non-believers so that we can actually live in this country together.
Right. Yeah.
Like that's ridiculous.
Yeah. By the way, I want to say something about something that I said earlier. I just want to quickly talk about the whole Trump thing, because when I said that we need to keep Trump out, I was not making a statement about we need to be liberal or we need to be democratic.
Right.
I genuinely believe that regardless of political affiliation, we as a country need to band together and keep Trump from power.
He's terrifying.
If I were a conservative, I believe I would feel the same way.
I don't hope so.
Many of my conservative friends, they don't like it. They don't want to vote for Hillary. They have no desire. I have friends who literally seethe at the thought of Hillary Clinton.
Right.
But will vote for her because they realize that we cannot have a Trump presidency.
Right.
It would be a disaster, not only for our country, but for countries around the world.
Yeah.
So protect the world, vote for Hillary.
Suck it up.
It doesn't matter. I'm sick. I'm so done with all of the millennials who think that they are righteous by not voting for Hillary because she doesn't agree with them on all of their issues. She's not as strongly liberal as they are, and
she's far more progressive than people would think.
Than people give her credit for.
Yeah.
Here's the other thing: you elect who you're negotiating with. You don't elect the person who believes everything that you believe.
Right.
And frankly, it's not cute anymore to me.
Right.
All these millennials think that they're so fucking cute with their big moral ideas and whatever. No. You got to get some pragmatism. It's time. It's not cute anymore, you little
Grow up.
bastards. Grow the fuck up.
There's going to be a lesson that you'll learn in about 10 to 15 years.
Yeah, exactly.
And the world doesn't revolve around you.
Right. And eventually, you'll also learn that, progress happens in increments. It doesn't happen in jolts, and it happens in little fits and starts. So you're just going to have to suck it up and go for the fits and starts. Anyway, but the point isn't you should be as liberal as I am. The point is just you cannot vote for Trump. I don't care who you are. Anyway, I
want to hear from the one listener, though.
No, we got lots of listeners. We got a whole contingency in the members only lounge who
are Trump supporters.
Well, we got a few Trump supporters, but I'm fine if you're conservative. That's not the question here.
That's not the issue.
That's not the issue. Anyway, let's go on to some emails that we got. And boy, we'll have some for next week too. Now that I've said all of that, I feel.
Yeah.
So that's great.
Good. I want to hear it.
Yeah, me too.
I want to hear it. And so say it.
Yeah.
Call it in.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah, actually.
424-666.
8442.
Yeah.
Call it in. Let's hear your voice saying it.
It's been a little bit of a dry spell.
That's
I
true.
don't want to guilt anybody into calling in.
But we haven't had.
If you've ever thought about it, that it might be fun, give it a try.
Yeah, give us a call. We've got some emails, though, in the meantime. Hi, Frank and Dan. This is from Sandro. My warm greetings to you from the equally warm and beautiful and batshit crazy Georgia. That's the country, not the state. Wow. Okay. A glorious place that took one for the world and hosted the World Congress of Families. Thank you for that. We definitely didn't need any more of that shit here. The last episode where you guys talked about an atheist bubble made me want to share my perspective with you. I come from a country where people talk a lot about history, traditions, and our ancestors. They proudly bark to each other about how big of a history Christianity has in our culture and how it helped Georgians to survive to this day, which is not far from reality, and I have respect for that view. But because of all this, and on top of that, the Soviet repression of the Georgian Orthodox Church, that the Georgian Orthodox Church got in the 20th century, they get government funding to the tune of $25 million a year.
Whoa.
Public donations, tax-free businesses, state gifts, lands, buildings, cars.
Wow. Whoa.
And a free pass for being assholes. The example that he gives is you don't have a moral right to judge the clergy, they will be judged by God.
Oh, dear God.
And they fight hard against any liberal view. My society is crazy about religion and its patriarch. According to the recent census, only 0.5% of the population stated that they weren't affiliated with any religion.
Good.
Yikes. There are no respected social representatives for non-religious persons, and no public speaker will come out as an atheist.
Wow.
And yet, says Sandro, I still feel I live in an atheist bubble. Almost none of my friends practice religion, and sometimes I feel very isolated from the whole church craze Georgia has, even though there's a church right in front of my apartment. Anyway, stay awesome.
Wow.
Georgia.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about Georgia other than the USSR was not. I mean, there have been they got beat up a little bit by the Soviet thing.
Yeah. Yeah, that atheist bubble thing. I think that's easy to put yourself in a bubble over a lot of different things.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, people put themselves in socioeconomic bubbles. They put themselves in belief bubbles. There's plenty of, gay bubbles. Jesus Christ. Fate worse than death.
I think I knew that guy. Gay Bubbles. I think I met him.
The clown.
Hi, I'm Gay Bubbles. Anyway. Yeah, there's a lot of bubbles.
Yeah.
You can, your gated community could be considered a bubble.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a bubble.
The little echo chamber about, when the flowers get planted and what color you can't paint your house.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, the internet, boy, that creates bubbles.
It really does. Yeah, news media, information bubbles.
Yeah. I mean, and when you've got algorithms delivering you only the news items that the internet thinks you want to read.
Yeah.
Welcome.
To elicit the appropriate mood.
You're being bubble-fied without your consent.
I know, but
you're being bubbled.
It's lovely. It's a lovely bubble.
Well, that's the thing about bubbles. They feel more comfortable.
Yeah.
If you're in a bubble, you're not being challenged.
All right.
It's nice to be in a bubble. That's why half of religion is just, Jesus, I need a bubble.
Yeah.
Give me a bubble.
Yeah.
Bubbles are not good for you, people. Take your medicine and get out your bubble. Unless you're like one of those people who has an autoimmune disease.
You have to live in the bubble. Literally a bubble.
Then it's good for you. If you're like,
it's protective.
If you're like the boy in the bubble, then you need it.
Right.
But the rest of us,
we don't.
Bubbles are not good for you.
No.
Let's see. Kurt wrote into us from British Columbia. International emails.
Wow.
Says, hey team, great job on the show. Just thought I'd let you know about another ARC park in the works.
No.
Yes. This one, however, is guaranteed to be much, much worse than the Kentucky rendition.
What?
Thanks in large part to its budget and location. The park is expected to cost $1.2 million. That's Canadian dollars, so $15 to $20 American, somewhere in that range. That's a joke. I'm making fun of the depressed value of the American dollar. Or of the Canadian dollar, rather.
Oh.
It's.
I didn't know that happened.
It's just a little bit. I mean, for a while there, they were at parity or above.
Oh, they were feeling good.
But it's gone back down.
Oh.
Which is good for when I visit my mom.
Yeah.
It's great for me.
Right.
So
not so great for when she visits here.
No.
Yeah.
So Kurt says the park will cost 1.2 million Canadian dollars and will be built beside a cemetery in Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan.
Oh dear God.
In case you've forgotten, he says,
or ever knew,
Moose Jaw is just a prairie town of 33,000 people, located in a province whose entire population is just over 1 million people. I.e., it's not big and it's in the middle of nowhere. Although the province itself, geographically, is quite large.
Mm-hmm.
Saskatchewan.
Yeah.
But yeah, not too many folks there. I want to go to that one. Yeah, I hope Kurt keeps us abreast of the situation there, because I want to go. I I have no interest in visiting Saskatchewan, really, other than because I've seen lots of prairie in my life.
Yeah.
But you get to say you've been to Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan.
Yeah.
Which is like that, who's got that on their little thing?
I mean, you've seen lots of prairie, but this is like wider, more open.
It's opener
and
prairie?
less populated prairie. It's more pristine prairie.
And who doesn't want pristine prairie? Yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful. Anyway, there you go. Dear Frank and Dan, this is from Matt. I'm a 23-year-old college grad with a criminal justice degree living in Texas. Originally, when I graduated high school, I was a religious conservative and always wanted to become a police officer. It wasn't until the past few years I started to lose my faith, identify as an atheist, and now have much more liberal political views. With all of the excessive use of force and radical injustice going on with the criminal justice system, I am finding it hard to find a career and move on to the next part of my life with good conscience, while still making a difference in the world with a degree I have earned. I was wondering what advice y'all have, along with new and better places to live besides Texas. Love the show. You're amazing and mean so much to me and my deconversion. So, first of all, Matt, you definitely wrote into the right people because we're 1,000% qualified for this.
But before we move on with where I think you might be going, which is the places that one might want to move.
Okay,
right?
sure.
I've
done extensive research.
Or do with one's life or whatever.
Right.
Here's what I would say. Matt, we need people like you in the police forces.
We desperately do. It won't be comfortable.
No.
For you.
No, you may hate it.
But take one for the team, damn it.
We need you. America needs you.
Yeah, be the good guy.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
Am I crazy here?
No, that's exactly my impulse. I'm like, yeah, get in there.
Yeah.
Be the guy that
like you clearly had a desire to do like some takedowns, right? And to handcuff some people. Why not still get to do that, but to be the atheist guy and the good guy?
Yeah, but I mean, I get the sense
be a voice within a department for something that's a little different.
But I get the sense that like the takedowns and the cuffing is like less what he's into now. He's kind of gone a little hippie.
Yeah. Well, there are plenty of police departments that do community policing.
Be that guy. And I mean, I think that's exactly who we need in our criminal justice system.
It might be horrid. It might be an awful life.
Oh, they'll treat you badly, but be strong. Be strong. Be powerful. They will murder you. They're going to find a way to kill you. But do it anyway.
Yeah.
Do it anyway.
It's the way to go.
You'll be a martyr. We will hail you.
Martyr.
We will hail you as a martyr.
Dying for the cause.
In terms of better places to live than Texas, I've got a few places. Anywhere would be a great place to live other than Texas.
Texas is a fine place. 5 large cities, Dan.
Parts of Texas are great.
You can find places.
Austin seems to be lovely.
San Antonio.
And I'm going to guess that Austin has some great opportunities for someone with a criminal justice degree. That's just my guess.
Yeah.
But I'm going to guess, it's the state capital. So there you go.
There's policing that must be done.
Otherwise, go north, young man.
Well, here's the deal.
Not to Oklahoma.
No.
Don't go
to Kansas.
Don't go directly north.
Or Nebraska.
Right. Go northwest or northeast.
Yeah.
In those directions.
Yeah, there's stuff there. But I would say that the real key here, like long term, you'll probably just be happier in one of the lesser religious places. So just stay out of the South.
Yeah.
And the Midwest.
Although, I mean, if we're going to say he has to stay in criminal justice to change it from within, maybe he has to stay in the South too.
You got to give yourself something, Dan.
You got to something's got to give.
Yeah.
You can't do all the things.
Yeah.
Anyway, there you go. We were entirely unhelpful to you, Matt. You're welcome. We got some folks to thank.
Yes, we do.
why don't I start? I'm going to start because we had a couple people who are new Patreon subscribers, or not Patreon, sorry, PayPal subscribers, which is a thing you can still do. So Jennifer, thank you very much, and Cody are giving now on a monthly scale.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, guys. Also, we have Jeff. These are all new patrons on Patreon.
On Patreon, yes.
So, because they're doing that, they get access to a commercial-free version of the show.
And
cool.
our audio diaries, Frank and Dan's.
If you're at level 3.
You
have to be at level 3.
That's right.
So Jeff, Doug, Eliza, Claire, Angela, and Joseph are all new patrons on Patreon. It's amazing, guys. Thank you so much.
Amazing.
You're just helping us get a lot closer to that goal of $300. Right now, we're just about at $260
per episode. And once we hit that goal, boom,
more content.
It'll good things, really
video.
Cool things.
We're
really
video
cool
version of the show. Who doesn't want a video version of the show?
It's going to be great.
Yeah.
It's going to be great.
You're going to see us.
And
I have to actually
and it'll actually help us get to more people. It'll help us get to a wider audience, and that's so helpful.
And it will help us, work on our grooming standards.
Which right now I'm not ashamed to say a little lackluster. It's getting bad.
I'll wash my face and brush my hair.
We may still stink, but you won't know.
It's not smell-o-vision.
You will never know
Yeah.
how badly we smell.
No, indeed.
So Frank,
Yes, Dan.
do you consider yourself to be spiritual? Are you a man of spirit?
Well, I'm feeling a very spirited rocking. In this new chair.
Yeah, you've got a rock happening.
My audio's probably coming in and going out.
Yeah, you probably shouldn't do.
Going out. Yeah.
You should only rock if you're not talking.
Yeah, okay.
You can rock or you can talk.
Okay.
So I happened upon a fascinating little story from the local CBS affiliate.
Channel 2?
Channel 2.
Okay.
KUTV News. About it starts off with a lady who's giving an energy adjustment through Reiki.
Ooh, Reiki. That's the good one. That's like the gold standard of energy adjustment.
Of bullshit.
Yeah.
It is the highest form of bullshit that you can get in terms of energy adjusting.
Yeah. No, fantastic.
Where hands are either waved o'er the body or placed onto the body, but not in any sort of massagey sort of way. Just touching.
Touch.
Yeah.
The therapy of touch. I don't know. There might be something to that, Dan.
Well, touching is nice.
Touch.
And you get your oxytocin or whatever.
Do they warm their hands first and then
Mr. Miyagi style?
Sort of slowly warm you up.
And then they
over
get that going, and then they put it on you, and you're like, oh,
those are warm hands.
That's warm. Oh, and a little clammy. Okay. Anyway, this particular version of Reiki was interesting because she started the session by praying.
Oh, okay.
It's Mormon Reiki. She started by praying to Heavenly Father.
Well, Heavenly Father doesn't hear those prayers.
That He'll be there, present and helpful in the healing of this person.
I can guarantee you.
Well, I got news for you. This woman is not alone. There are conventions, entire conventions, attended by thousands, to get you in touch with your Christ-centered energy healing.
No.
Yep.
No, that's weird.
And the majority of the ones that these guys were reporting on are LDS.
What?
The majority are Mormons.
No. This is these
not,
people.
It's not confined to Mormonism,
right.
But they make sure to keep it very open,
Right.
But yeah, that's definitely a thing. So this woman, what's her name? I'm trying to find her name. Anyway, there's this woman who has been who has organized this. Let's see.
That's so weird. Because I mean, we're talking about like really woo stuff. I mean,
like, it's as woo as you can go.
I was at my grandmother's 90th this last weekend, right?
Sure.
And one of my cousins who is conservative and religious, of sorts. I mean, she may not be religious, but she's clearly a believer in something.
Yeah.
Right?
Is she a believer?
She might be. I don't know. We didn't get to that.
You didn't get to pop music. Okay.
But she kept going on about like woo-y type stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and I was like what? This doesn't make any sense.
What are you
right?
doing?
Like you're not that person. But what's interesting is like all this like scenty aromatherapy.
Oh yeah.
Woo like what was some of the stuff that she was talking about? I was just like, sweetheart, like,
does she use the word toxins on a regular interval?
You know, she didn't specifically mention toxins, but that was not far from the conversation. And so like I was sitting there and just kind of marveling at the thought of like the people who historically, like 15 years ago, maybe even as recently as 5 or 10 years ago, all of that woo shit was so like not what they were about. That was for the crazy.
It was practically devilcraft.
Well, it was what liberals in Hollywood and New York and
right.
whatnot did.
Right.
It wasn't anything that they would ever participate in.
No.
It was weird and foreign and no.
Yeah.
And now they're doing it.
It's crazy.
But this fucking blows my mind because it's the Mormons and they have like this like weird like little Sixth Sense like crazy thing about like anything that's a little spiritual and not Mormon.
Anything that's not their shit.
Yeah.
They get a bad feeling.
Yeah,
about.
A dark feeling.
And let me tell you something. When a Mormon gets a bad feeling, try and talk them out of that shit. Tammy Ward is the name of the woman that organizes these conventions.
Okay.
And you, by the way, Frank, you can get personal mentoring on energy healing from Tammy.
Really?
If you want to go for just the sort of the 3-month package, 6 personal mentoring appointments, you could.
Yeah.
But I recommend the platinum package. That's a full year, 24 personal mentoring sessions.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Only run you $25,000.
Oh my God. These are just like psychics and shit wrapped up in something different.
Oh my God, it's so kooky. By the way, I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you a picture of her, and you're going to describe what you see to our audience.
Oh no!
Oh yeah.
Oh, she's got that bad Utah hair.
Yeah.
That's like probably super crazy short all the way up the back of her hair. And then like swooping down to like the spike right next to her face.
Bleach blonde. And what you don't see is that it's like a cascade in the back.
Yeah.
It flows out. She's so perfectly like small town Utah.
And like painted on eyebrows, super heavy eye makeup.
Yeah.
Probably has had a little work done.
Yeah.
She's or heavily airbrushed
right
image.
And of course,
and then she's got that like she's got something that would be a little revealing normally because she bought it at the department store.
Her top,
but she has a very modest T-shirt on underneath
it because that's what they do. Anyway, it's so weird to see someone so Mormon
Yeah.
going in for this stuff. So I thought you would respond to that. But here's what's funny. So our friend Erica is in town.
Uh-huh.
She's half Japanese.
Uh-huh.
I was telling her about this, and her hackles raised up. Now, this is not a woman who cares about Reiki.
Right.
But she was like, you know what? That's our 2,000-year-old bullshit, not your 2,000-year-old bullshit.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So that got me really interested. Like, Americans are so grabby about everybody else's woo. And I just started to think about, like, spirituality in terms of, like, who owns what.
Well, I mean...
And what's okay to take as your own and, like, make it your own. Because you and I have probably dozens of friends who are yoga instructors. You know, I mean, I think every third person in America now is a yoga instructor.
Well, why can't you learn from other cultures?
Yeah.
Learn practices that other countries
If they're willing to
might
teach
enjoy.
it. Now,
right?
here's what's interesting about this. Like, you know, this makes me think of you know, there was a whole, I don't know if you know the history of Bruce Lee.
No, not really.
His, you know, the whole kung fu thing was supposed to remain, it wasn't for outsiders.
Oh, really?
And then he sort of changed it, developed his own thing, and started to teach it to, like, Americans.
Right.
And it was like, it's for everybody. And all of his teachers and whatever were like, I call bullshit. You can't teach anybody else. And
Well, that's being rather exclusive now.
well, yeah,
With something that's just about, kicking and, punching.
to you.
And I assume balance and some
See,
assaults.
but this is the question. It put me in the mind of another thing I'm going to get to. But the question becomes, can we take it and then not really understand the context of the thing?
Here's the deal.
The
Here's
place
the deal.
that this came from or anything. And just scoop up the parts that we like without seeing the rest of it. And
Yeah, you know what? Here's the deal. If Japanese people want to take up divining rods and go scouring the countryside for whatever, why should I care?
yeah, which is a typically American attitude. Like, there's this whole American thing of, like, everything belongs to everybody. Like, as long as I can sell it, like, there's this American thing. But so one of the things that it reminded me of was a concept that I recently found out about, which is so you've probably heard, Frank, of the Native American concept of a two-spirit person.
Yeah, somebody who's queer
In some way, some gender fluidity type person. A person, in our culture, they would probably be transgender.
Right. Okay. Sure. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
But in Native American cultures, several of them, there is this they created this space for people who were genderqueer in some interesting way.
Okay.
And honored them, and like they sort of hailed them as people who had a unique wisdom about them or a unique take on things, and sort of like there's this really sort of
how inclusive.
yeah. Right. So I think very naturally a lot of the trans community in the United States wanted to take that mantle on themselves. I'm two-spirit.
Right. Okay. Okay.
To which a lot of the native culture has said, you don't get that term. Because we fought to make the space for these people in our culture.
Right. Okay.
We worked to do this, and you're not taking any of the context of this concept when you take that word.
Right.
You just saw something where people like you, or people that you felt connected to, were treated positively,
Right.
and you're treated negatively,
Right.
and you wanted a piece of it.
Right.
I get both sides of this story. Like, both sides make total sense to me.
Yeah.
I just wanted to bring it up because it's like, because on all of these fronts, Reiki, if it works, should be for everybody. Mm-hmm. If it works, which it does not.
I don't know. Like, I'm having a different reaction to sort of practice of, like, okay, so like there's this thing that's beneficial. Why would we not want that to spread? And why would we not want, like, if you're the member of a culture, let's share Reiki, right?
Right.
It's awesome, and everybody should benefit from it,
right?
Rather than being like, all no, Reiki's ours,
Yeah,
and so, like, I kind of get Erica's perspective of, like, no, that's our bullshit. But at the same time, it's like, well, but if it were real, right? And for these people, it is real.
And right.
But
for
like,
the sake
for me,
of
as just an
argument,
observer, I'm like, yeah, that's fucking stupid, right?
right.
But for something more like this concept of, I don't know why I'm having, like, taking identity. I think that's what it is. It's about identity for me.
Yeah.
Like, taking a cultural identity of some kind and saying, no, that's mine, and trying to, I assume they're trying to participate in that concept,
right,
in some way.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. That seems
different.
I don't know. On some level, insensitive, especially the Native American cultures that have this. There's just this tradition in this country of taking, just doing sort of lip service to the culture, and, like, I think about, like, the Boy Scouts, you got the
right.
Order of the Arrow and all these things that are sort of pseudo Native American just crap, the headdresses that, have existed in the past. I don't know if they still do that kind of stuff, feather headdresses.
I mean, I remember every year, of course, for Thanksgiving, all the kids making their little feather headbands out of construction paper because it's cute.
Yeah.
And, like, is there any concept of, like, or awareness of what that cultural thing you're just putting on your kid means, or why they would do that? Or
that kind of stuff I guess I have a little bit more of a problem with. As far as, like, some pseudo medical practice, or I don't know. I just don't even bother to care about that.
Well, then there's the part of me that's,
and it also doesn't feel like it should be something that is, again, if it works, which yoga as a bending and stretching exercise is fantastic.
As an exercise practice, it's great. Yeah.
You layer on all the other stuff,
the woo,
and it becomes A, it becomes a lot less interesting, and then B, probably as a Westerner, you might be, treading into something that you don't understand or fully appreciate.
Not only that, but, like, it's probably a Western construct. It's because most of the practitioners of yoga that I talked to when I was in India were like, it's just exercise.
Right.
This has nothing to do with religion.
Yeah, you're probably right about that. And so then it just becomes this weird. If people would just acknowledge it as being American, American development, or an American add-on, then great. But if they are really trying to, like, ooh, we're connecting to this ancient culture because, ancient cultures know so much about modern life.
Right, exactly. Well, and they were so good. Like, I don't know if you know this, Frank. Anything that was part of an ancient, like, medicine practice or whatever, they knew what they were doing.
They really did. These are lost sciences.
Much more than now, where, where it's all chemicals. They all just want to fill you with chemicals. Back then, they would just use,
beets,
berries, and sticks. And those don't have any chemicals in them.
No.
They're not made of chemicals at all.
No, that's true, Dan. You just converted me. I hadn't thought of that.
Oh, the appeal to antiquity. By the way, kids, that's not a real thing. Just because something's ancient means nothing about its efficacy.
Right. I will say, though, working out all the kinks in a bending and exercising, or a bending and balance exercise.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's probably some experience that can get handed down.
Absolutely. Yeah, exactly.
They understand how that joint bends a little
that
bit.
lasting for millennia means that, like, when, Carl in India bent the wrong way and broke his back, everybody looked at him and went, yeah, we're not doing that position anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. I don't know.
Yeah, this whole cultural appropriation thing, Dan.
I feel like, to some extent, I'm going to go with you, actually.
Really?
Here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say, if it's beneficial to you and your group, fuck you if you don't want to share it with everybody else. Share with the class, asshole.
Yeah, right. Yeah, did you bring enough for everyone?
Right, exactly. Oh, look, we discovered how to make you happy and well. Only it's just for us.
Yeah, no, that's not right.
That's not okay.
Share.
You got to share with the class.
Right.
However, the other great lesson is, if it's bullshit woo, you can keep it. You can just have that. We'll just let you guard that. And
that's yours now.
Feel protective about it.
Keep it.
Nope, sorry, the Mormons got it. The Mormons,
Mormons are good at it.
What if the Mormons started just snatching up everybody else's, like, woo practices? That would be great.
Well, yeah.
I mean, they do. What's funny is that you see her doing Reiki, Mormon Reiki, and it's just like, oh, the only thing that's wrong with that is that you're a woman.
Yeah.
Because men do laying on of hands.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's the same woo.
Yeah.
It's, they'll drizzle a little oil on your head and do a laying on of hands and, oh, you're healed.
So we did not bring up or mention Mormie Lakes.
Oh, God.
Okay, so here's the deal. I want to link these two things.
I forgot about that.
Okay.
Like, yeah, we were supposed to. One of us should have done that.
The worst. So I was on Reddit a few days ago, and there was like this huge leak of Mormon documents happening now, right?
Yeah.
Like, post and blah, blah, blah. And I was like,
everybody who cares about Mormonism ran to this subreddit.
Yeah, and so like I went,
and it was like hundreds to maybe thousands of pages of
total pages. Yeah, probably
documents.
I mean, yeah, the total number of documents wasn't even that huge or whatever. But like, so I started looking through, and there was like one that was like a purchasing guide for mission presidents' homes. Like what, how, where to requisition the beds and for how much and blah blah blah. And it was just, I was like, it was fascinating for how thorough and how organized it was, because and I was like, yeah, that's Mormons. Yeah, they're thorough.
Yeah,
if nothing else. But the thing is stamped confidential, right?
Right.
And then, so yeah, that was a confidential document that was leaked, and there was just a list of these unbelievably boring documents of no real consequence, right?
What's amazing is that the guy that was leaking all these things, or the girl, or the person that was leaking all of these things, like, leaked them with all of this vitriol. It was like,
yeah,
I'm releasing these so that we can bring these bastards down, and we're gonna
church ruined my life,
and we're gonna take them down. And then he proceeds to release stuff that doesn't surprise anybody and is all like line items on a budget for a temple.
One of them was the budget for General Conference, which people were initially like trying to like make hay about because it costs $1 million to do General Conference. And then like all these other people who have nothing to do with the Mormon Church, I assume, is how they were talking, come in and they're like, $1 million to have like this huge conference down 2 days, multiple sessions, hours of video. You have to have people running this, and like you got satellite trucks, you got, and they're just like listing off,
beaming it all over the world.
It's this big technical thing, and you have to have security, and like I'm sure there's catering for all the speakers and blah blah blah.
There's hundreds of thousands of people there.
Yeah, and they're like, this actually they're pulling this off, for a song
at a bargain. Yeah.
And like, I'm just like, my God, these people, they're so fucking boring that the biggest leak of documents that's ever come out of, the church office building, and it's just horrifyingly organized and boring.
Yeah. It's It's what we already knew about Mormons. They're good at administration.
Oh my God! It was the same very detailed document for like submitting a budget.
Yeah.
You just go through and you type in, what do you expect the certain, and there's like boxes, right?
Oh, yeah.
Of like, are you requesting less than $50,000? Are you requesting between $50,000 and $100,000?
Right.
Is there and it was just like so ridiculous.
Yeah. The big thing that we found out, I think, was that they have a $2 million budget for a social media marketing campaign.
Sounds reasonable.
Totally. What for every any organization that size is going to have. Yeah.
And we know they have gobs of money, so these numbers don't surprise anyone.
No.
Well, anyway, so the most boring group of people imaginable.
Yes.
Right. And then you have the populace. You have all the members.
Also,
and they're
also largely boring.
Largely boring, but desperately wanting to not be boring.
Right.
The more they learn about the rest of the world, thanks to this modern era we live in, the more they want it.
Yeah.
And so they're going to try to layer it in and try to figure it out. Like,
yep.
These poor people.
Just
let them have some fucking Reiki.
Just so that we're clear, the LDS Church does not condone Reiki. Does not endorse Reiki.
No.
The LDS
this
Church
woman is rogue. People.
Yeah.
But she needs something.
Yeah.
She needs something slightly exciting or
does
interesting.
Need something, and that something is a new hairstylist. That's the something she needs.
She spent money on that.
Oh my God, she did.
That was not a cheap hairdo.
She goes to the best salon in all of Hurricane.
Yeah, that was kind of southern Utah, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's she's a St. Georgeite for sure. Anyway, if you have anything you'd like to say about any of the stuff that we've been talking about, if you want to yell at us that Reiki actually works and we should try it before we talk about it, then feel free to write into us, podcast@thankgodimatheist.com.
Or
you
can call and leave us a voicemail message.
We do like it.
We like it, guys. The telephone number is 424-666-8442.
Yeah, go to the Facebook page, facebook.com/TGIAtheist.
And while you're there, search for the TGIA Members Only Lounge. Request to join. We'll let you in.
It's a closed group. Hey, thankgodimatheist.com has a little button that you can press to become a donor.
Yeah.
And support us in our mission to make life better for atheists worldwide.
Yes.
So you can go to thankgodimatheist.com and click on the Patreon button, and we would greatly appreciate that.
And of course, we thank you so much to everyone who has done that.
Yes.
Both very recently and who've been long time.
Foreign and abroad.
Yeah.
And domestic.
Yeah.
For both foreign and abroad. Whatever you are. Thanks to Mackenzie for her fine work on the Facebook page.
And thanks to the Red Rock Hot Club for the use of their music.
And thank you, dear listener, for tuning in. We sure do appreciate it when you do.
Bye.